Hey guys, if you're curious about what's going on in the Stockton housing market, then we have a great show for you today. We're covering the June 2023 housing market here. Lots of interesting, very interesting things going on. My name is David. This is Richard. We're brokers here in Stockton. And we're going to get right into the data. So this first chart is the number of homes that were for sale, the number of homes sold, and of course the number of homes that were pending. Richard, why don't you dive into some of those numbers?
Yeah, and of course I guess the most disappointing one is still the number of homes for sale is at 201 versus 202 last month, which is incredibly low. Pendings were kind of on the way up, and now they're at 233 from 237, so they kind of went up and then lined out, and they're starting back down a little bit. And of course the solds, they did come up some because the pendings were up, so that was good. 165 to 228, yay, over the 200 mark. See if that can hold up with our inventory. Where does that have us going, David? What kind of percentages are we looking at here?
Yeah, it's a historically low amount of inventory. We'll get to that more in a second. But just comparing this time last year, here we are, spring months going into summer. Normally, this is a trend where we see more homes coming on the market. In this abnormal year, we're seeing the opposite. Last time this year, there were 379 homes that came on the market. And as Richard mentioned, this past month, 201 homes just came on the market, and that's a decline of 46% less of homes on the market that buyers have to choose from. So this is in a stalemate of a market. And just to further the point, let's look at the 15-year chart like I mentioned. All right, here is a chart going back 15 years on a quarterly basis, and we're going to pay our attention to the number of homes for sale, which is the green bar graph here, Richard. Yep. And as I mentioned previously, in the past 15, as far back as the MLS data can take us, we are at an all-time low of inventory here of number of homes on the market, and this is for the city of Stockton. So quite a far cry of the large number of homes for sale during the housing crash. And until our number of inventory and the amount of homes come on the market, until that rises, our home prices are either going to continue to stabilize or, in fact, reverse and go back up. So just want to point this out of the dire need of the number of homes. In fact, we're starting to see multiple offers again, aren't we?
Yeah, wouldn't you kind of say that this would indicate truly a seller's market again?
Yes, we are back officially into a seller's market. So let's take a look at how it has affected prices here recently. All right, before we jump into the local market here, I do want to take a snapshot of what's going on across the United States. And here's a chart from Freddie Mac, who is tracking home prices. And as you can see, we did hit a slowdown in July, August, September, October, November, and December at the tail end of 2022, those last 6 months of the year. But since then, take a look at this. The home prices have recovered. Well, let's call it stabilized, no longer going down, and actually are showing some appreciation here in the last 4 months that they're tracking the data in January, February, March, and April. So again, we had the slowdown at the end of the year, and it's since rebounded according to Freddie Mac. So that's a good sign.
Definitely looks like prices are going up.
All right, let's take a look at more specifically the city of Stockton housing prices.
Okay, and on this weird looking chart that you're looking at here, this the red is the solds. We took that dip during the end of last year, and here we're coming back. If you just take away basically April, it's coming back and coming back fairly strong. On the green line, that's where we probably just had, would you say, David, maybe a few, not overpriced homes, but higher priced homes, maybe $1 million plus, that came on the market that just drove it up real fast. And now we're just lining back out from that. So that's kind of just a blip on the radar, really. But the solds is important, and they're not going to go up much more if we don't get much more inventory.
Yeah, and looking at more specifically at the average sold price on the red line, like you mentioned, it's kind of mimicking what we saw over the national level. It declined August through December of last year, even touched down to 422,000 there in January. But yeah, certainly since rebounded, and last month up to 458,000 is the average sold price here in Stockton. But next, with all the activity, let's look at the days on market chart and the list to sales price ratio next.
And on this graph here, we have the average sale price versus the list price.
Yeah.
And there a year or so ago, we were over 100% for quite a few months. Well, here we come back from 4 months ago, 96, then 97, 98, now we're to 99. So obviously this lack of inventory is causing the pricing and the gap between sale and list price to close and get back to where it should be. So looking pretty good there. What about the blue line there? What is that?
All right, here in the bottom is the days on market data, and last month in Stockton, the average time it took to go pending on a sale was 46 days. Previous to that was 44 days, and that is a decline from those, we'll call it winter of 2022 months where they seem to take a lot longer. I feel like this data is a little skewed somehow because everything we're hearing here in the office, and if I was to pull up a house that's pending online, you can see a lot of them have multiple offers, a lot of them sold within 7 days, 10 days, 14 days. It seems like the market is moving much faster than the data here shows.
Well, I think that's coming from the point that we had some overpriced listings hit the market all at once, and that's causing the average to be higher than if you're priced right, they're selling in a couple of weeks. If you're not priced right, it's not selling.
Yeah. Well, if you guys like this data and want to see more of it, do us a favor, hit that like button right down below. And if you want to see more in each and every month, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps get our data and our housing market out to more viewers. As always, thanks for watching this month's Housing Market Update. We will see you on the next one.